You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And it's Wellness Wednesday, so that means Claudine Cooper, ClaudineCooper.com, joins me in studio. Let me say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Hanukkah's on the way, all of those. Happy Kwanzaa eventually.
Back to you.
Good
Same
to see you.
All of the above.
I mentioned that because since it is the holiday season,
Yes.
small H, people are thinking about gifts. And I know even in your line of work, there may be some specific gifts that people may ask you about, or technology that people say, hey, how about this? Or what about this? How do you approach, if at all,
Yes.
how do you approach gifts in your profession?
As in people giving me gifts?
All of the above. Take it
Okay.
wherever you want.
Okay, well, this is where I'm going to go with it. Just last week, a woman said, hey, Claudine, guess what I asked for my Christmas gift? I said, what? She said, a set of weights. And I said, oh, I love that. She said, I listened to you when you said, put the weights in front of your TV instead of sitting on the couch. Just do some bicep curls, do some squats, and watch your shows. So I asked my husband to order me a rack with weights. I said, wonderful. That's an amazing gift.
You sound almost convinced.
Look,
You sound like you know how that story's going to end.
you don't think she's going to use them?
From the way you describe it, it seems like she will be fast out the gate for 2 weeks. And those weights will move from in front of the TV to behind the couch.
I would ask your listeners if they have dumbbells in their home and if their dumbbells get use, because I use my dumbbells at the house. I don't know about other people, but I heard somewhere that people let their dumbbells collect dust, but I don't know that for a fact.
I am more for isometric resistance training. I will do my push-ups and core work on the floor, but in front of the TV.
Yeah.
I'll get on the treadmill, and I do the most work when I'm just watching a movie. I can watch 2 hours and get a pretty decent workout in.
Because basically your treadmill is set up in an area with your TV.
Correct.
So you just get your workout in, but your mind is on.
I need to take my mind somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you say, go downstairs and put in an hour working out, I'm not going to do it.
Okay.
Go downstairs, watch this new movie on Netflix. It's an hour and 45 minutes long, but you'll get at least an hour in on the treadmill. Do your, what I call warmed up stretches. I try to stretch after I'm warmed up.
That's smart. That's very smart. In fact, I was kind of giving the advice of stretching every day, but I was thinking about it after, giving the advice. I was like, ooh, let me think about this. You want to make sure your body's warm when you stretch, right? And so now with the weather changing, it's a little cooler. You might get out of the bed. It might be cold in your house, or maybe that's just my house because I keep a cold house. But you do want to be somewhat warm when you stretch. You want your muscles to be malleable when you start moving around like that. Yeah.
I usually, I'll stand and lean against the wall to stretch out my Achilles. I'll keep my heel on the floor because I'm not trying to tear my Achilles in my old age. I'm just not.
Have you ever torn your Achilles?
No, I've torn my calf muscle, which is close enough.
Yes, it is.
And there's nothing like it.
How long was the recovery on that?
Month and a half.
Yeah.
No surgery. Month and a half.
Natural healing.
Natural healing.
Okay.
And it was a month and a half before I could walk normally again.
Wow. But
Yeah.
your body did what your body can do.
But I was 30 something at the time. I don't know if I'd be able to do that now.
At 50 something?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we don't want to find out.
No, but I say that to say that's the only stretching I do before I get on the treadmill. Those are important. And I also do some squats so I can just make sure I'm not doing anything which will lead to injury. After I get off the treadmill, then I'll sit down on the floor and do what I call dynamic stretching, where I'm stretching legs and trying to increase flexibility.
Right. So, I teach a stretch class, and we also have other mobility and recovery classes. And one of the best ways to work out your body or to stretch out your soreness is to use some kind of tool. So as we start talking about gifts, it's good to think about these kinds of things too. I just ordered a box for the gym of 40 massage sticks. Have you heard of those?
Yes.
You have one?
I have one of those battery operated massagers.
Oh, like the gun thing?
The gun thing. I think it's Theragun.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would have discovered this 10 years ago, because I'll get up in the morning after working out the day before, and my hamstrings are always super tight. Put that Theragun on the back of my leg. It's like,
life altering. It's a life altering.
Where have you been my whole life? Like, I just feel my hamstring just uncurling.
Yes. And so that would be another gift, right? These are all little tools. So the Theragun, or for those who are listening, you would say it's like a handheld massage device. And they come in all different brands, but Theragun is an expensive brand, by the way, because Mo is bougie.
Yes, I am. But I didn't always have one. What I used before was a rolling pin.
Okay. So that's what I ordered. So they look like, this is called a massage stick, and they come in all different kinds of sizes and colors and whatnot, but it's looking like a rolling pin. And to be honest, I never used one. So the woman who does the mobility class had asked for them. And when it came in, I used it.
Life changing. Yes. Yes. You don't know until you do it. It's like, what?
Another tool, little secret tool here, is a lacrosse ball, which you may not know is made of rubber. It looks like a tennis ball, but it's made of rubber, and it grips down onto the floor pretty easily. You can put your foot on it and roll the ball back and forth on your foot. Oh yeah.
I usually do that on the corner of steps. Because I don't have flat feet, but my arches still are something that I'm very concerned with. And what's when the muscle pulls away from the foot?
Is that the plantar fasciitis?
Plantar fasciitis, yeah. And I've dealt with that over years, and so yes, I will use small balls and corners of steps and
all these different tools. Anyways, if you're looking for gifts that are home workout or home recovery tools, there's so many things out there. It really just depends on if you're gonna use it or not, or if you know yourself well enough to know, hey, I need to actually go into the gym. I actually need to go to a class. I need a practitioner to rub me down. Some people need that.
When we come back, since we're ending this year and we're getting ready to start 2025, I'm quite sure you've probably seen or know of some trends in the health and wellness and training community. When we get back, tell us what's on the horizon. What are people talking about? What are people fancying and experimenting with? Can you do that for me?
Oh, I know what they're fancying. I can't wait to talk about it.
All right. Claudine Cooper joins me in studio on this Wellness Wednesday. KFI AM 640. It's Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
On this Wellness Wednesday, I'm joined in studio by Claudine Cooper. Make sure you check out ClaudineCooper.com for all of her wisdom, her sage advice, also her online workouts, and also in-person free community workouts. I'm quite sure in your business, in your work, that there are trends. People will move in this direction or that direction as time goes by. It's a new year. I'm quite sure there are new things that people are experimenting with. What are people talking about? What's the hot new thing, the hot thing going on?
There's a few things, and, I feel like they were born out of the pandemic, right? So one of the big things is that there are more free offerings. Not only do I do a free workout in the neighborhood, but I also know that there's free yoga at Kenneth Hahn Park. There's free hiking groups. There's a lot of free offerings that I didn't see as much, let's say 10 years ago when I started my free workout, right? So the free offerings are something that not only is near and dear to my heart because I started a free community workout myself, but also because there are people who may not be able to afford gym memberships, right? Or personal trainers. And this is a way for them to be active, but to also be in community with other people who want to be active. So for me, I would say on trend is this kind of wellness hashtag fitness. And it's good that it's on trend because it's causing people to create these groups and these environments where you can get active with others.
Do you ever find yourself just a little bit cynical where it's like, okay, I know you're not here for the long haul. I know you're here for the 15 minutes and this is new. And, the people who maybe walk into the gym is like, okay, you're here for the club aspect of the gym. You're not here to work out.
Oh, Mo, don't be
cynical.
so cynical.
I don't think the best of people.
Okay, here's the deal. The other day I was at the gym. I was talking to two of my old friends who've been working out with me for over 10 years each. And they said, oh, here we go again, Claudine. Look at this ghost town right now. Nobody's in the gym right now. In 3 weeks, it's going to be packed from the window to the wall. And I won't be able to get a spot in your class and blah, blah, blah. And I looked at them and I said, you know what I'm going to say? Because they've been working out with me for a long time. This is my favorite time of year. I absolutely love when droves of people recommit to living a healthy lifestyle, because I strongly believe, unlike you cynical.
I am cynical. Yo estoy cynical.
Yes, I truly believe that there is a percentage of people who will commit for the long haul, and they'll start on January 1st or the first Monday in January. And I just feel so fortunate and so blessed to be able to have a passenger seat in the ride along that journey. And I've seen it happen so many times in the 32 years that I've been working in fitness.
In those 32 years, have you seen an age demographic shift where when I was in my 20s, it seemed like most of the people were in the 20-ish range. We were very absorbed in as far as the gym. Now, it seems like, as an outsider, because I'm not a part of that gym culture now, it seems like that there's a wider age range. Well,
you came to the gym the other day with me and you saw the various ages. You saw older people, you saw young people, teenagers. I have been pleasantly surprised to see such a vast and diverse group of ages, ethnicities, abilities. So last week I had a guy come to my stretch class and he is in a wheelchair. So he put his wheelchair towards the back of the room. He hoisted himself out of the wheelchair. He used the stretching tools to stretch his legs. It was, at the end of class, and I can tell this story because he told it in class too. So at the end of class, we always go around and all of us kind of introduce ourselves just to create a more strong sense of community, right? And so we get to him and he just said, I feel so fortunate and so blessed to be here because I was shot. And I have been in the wheelchair now since I was 24 years old. And I'm just thankful that I'm still able to participate in classes like this and do as much as I can.
It's a powerful, powerful statement.
And there's a lot of people who are listening right now. And I just want to take a moment and bend your ear. There are people who say, I can't do this, or I'm tired, or, my hips hurt, or my back hurts. There's always something that you can do. If all you can do is a little bit is more than none. And that's my suggestion. It doesn't have to be well thought out. It doesn't have to be on the first of the year. It can be in front of your TV, like Mo, watch a movie. It can be just stretching with a group of other people. It can be any amount of movement is better than no movement. And I stand on that.
I'm sure you've inspired someone. Definitely intrigued many someones. But let's help them take that first step. Today's Wednesday. I know you have online Friday, free workouts. You have your in-person free community workouts on Saturday. You teach any number of classes at Iconics Fitness in Inglewood.
I also teach at Equinox in Hawthorne/Manhattan Beach.
Oh, excuse me. You've been holding out on me. Okay.
I've been there for 10 years.
How is it you have time to come out to KFI?
Because I just love you guys so much. I'm the nice exercise lady. How could I not be here? Come on, guys. What would you do without me?
Everybody loves the nice exercise lady.
You've grown on me too, Mark.
Like a wart. Hey.
Oh, not at all. You guys, I love coming out here, even though tonight the traffic was extremely intense. And around this time of year, it does get much harder to get around the city. So I understand when the population drops down at the gym. It makes perfect sense to me. The holidays, traffic, all the responsibilities of parents and teachers and everything that's going on right now. If you can't make it to the gym, you can still do a little something at home, or like Mo said, you can go to my website at claudinecooper.com. I do teach a virtual workout, but I'm sad to say we're going to say goodbye to the virtual workouts.
I was wondering how long are you going to be able to do them just from a scheduling standpoint?
It's been almost 5 years since 2020, since I started the free workouts online. And the community has been so appreciative, but we've dwindled down in size. People are going back to the gym.
Well, that's okay, but they can find you at the gym. They can find you at Hollywood Park.
Absolutely. Hollywood Park Retail District every Saturday at 9 a.m. and then at various gyms. And I also do wellness activations. I do seminars for corporations. I do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I'm a mom, and I'm a mom, and I'm a wife. So it's a lot. And
you sleep when?
I get 8 hours of sleep. Trust me on that. I'm serious about my sleep hygiene.
Okay. ClaudineCooper.com. And that means you'll be back next week, maybe, depending on your very busy schedule.
Well, so next week I do actually have a corporate wellness activation. Sorry about that. I'm just letting you know on camera, on air. Sorry. Yeah, I do.
ClaudineCooper.com. We love the nice exercise lady.
I love you guys too. Happy holidays, everyone.
And we'll see you soon whenever that might be.
Yes, you will.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI Mo Kelly live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And I got to say, I am kind of jealous about what the younger generation has that I didn't have as a kid. For all the trappings, I should say, for all the things that we did have as kids, this generation has a lot more cool stuff. Yeah, we were the beginning, Gen Xers, we were the beginning of the video game revolution. We had arcades, but everything that we had was very low tech in comparison to what's out there today. I remember I was happy to just get a phone in my room, as in plugged into the wall, touch tone, not even my own line, just my own extension where I could pick up the phone in the house in my room. I was happy about that. Now the kids get their own phone with their own phone number at 5 years old. It's a different world altogether. And I used to ride my bike everywhere. I am going somewhere with this. No pun intended. I used to ride my bike everywhere. I had a yellow 10-speed bike, and that was my transportation. I would ride it from Harbor City to Torrance and all areas around there. I was getting a lot of miles on that bike. But today, have you seen the e-bikes? They're fast as hell. It's basically a moped that people ride on the sidewalks. It's basically a moped. And they're not super expensive when you think about it. The top of the line is $2,000. You can get them as low as like $200. It's great. Let me tell you about this. There's a new voucher program which offers up to $2,000 for a new e-bike. You can get $2,000 immediately, or I should say, starting later this month, December 18th. And low-income California residents can apply for the state's new e-bike incentive project. The base incentive voucher is $1,750, but applicants with certain qualifications can get as much as $2,000, which basically means for free. Basically, a top-quality e-bike. I would, look, if I had a job which was somewhat close to where I live, like Tim Conway Jr., I would love to ride my bike to work. I would love to do it. And it'd be even better on an e-bike. These young folks have no idea how good they have it. Applications open on December 18th at 6 p.m., and they'll be reviewed on a first-come, first-served basis. Even if you're not going to be part of the program, the voucher program, I just think e-bikes are just so very cool. I just have no need or purpose for them in my life. I have nowhere to go. There's nowhere for me to go. Everywhere I need to go, I have to get in a car. And it takes me 2 hours to drive 22 miles in this city.
I think it'd be fun for you to drive 2 hours on an e-bike to get to work every day.
It would be fun, and it would be dangerous, and I'd probably get hit.
You wouldn't do it more than once.
Look, Steffi, you know where we live.
Yeah. Well, there'd be a betting pool.
Oh, odds are against me. Odds are not in my favor.
Yeah, leaving the house, that right there is already a struggle if you have something that's shiny like that.
Well, not only that, and you know what this is like. When you're driving, at least through my neighborhood, people do not care about the rules of the road. They will pass you on the right. Let's say you're coming up, you're stopped at a red light, and they're trying to time it where it's going to turn green, and they're going to zip around you on the right.
Oh, my.
To get in front of you. If you're not paying attention to that, you might have an accident. It drives me crazy.
There's actually like a stoplight right at the beginning of my drive, and people do that all the time.
All the time.
All the time. And the other thing that happens, too, is when, like, you're going on a straight, and someone's coming out to go into the lane. For some reason, they see you, and they decide to pull out of that street right when you're coming up on that turn.
In my neighborhood, I can't speak for anyone else's neighborhood. People don't stop at stop signs. People don't stop to make a right on red. They just turn. They don't even slow down. They just turn right as if the light is green. Talk about defensive driving. It's really dangerous. I say all that to say I wouldn't trust riding an e-bike because people don't respect the rules of the road at all. There are a lot of places where there are four-way stops. People don't stop. They just go straight through it. And I know, and I've been hit by a car as a pedestrian, so maybe I'm hypersensitive to it. I know that I probably would get creamed. And it wouldn't be my fault, but that's not going to help because I'm dead. So there's really no upside. The idea, at least when I was growing up, yes, most definitely would like to have an e-bike. If I lived in a different place than I live now, yes, definitely would love an e-bike. I just don't want to get killed on an e-bike.
You definitely would have to be a lot more judicious about giving people the finger on an e-bike.
Yeah, I'm not you, Mark Ronner. I don't do that anymore. You don't understand. People will kill you.
Oh, they'll get you with the door on an e-bike.
Right. And I'm not the person who's going to ride an e-bike and try to lane split or ride it in the street. No, I'm going to illegally ride it on the sidewalk because it's much safer there.
Can you do that? Do you not have to follow the same rules as a motorcycle?
I was going to say, I don't think you're allowed to actually even use a sidewalk because there was that whole rule that came out with the bird scooters.
Correct.
That they couldn't do it on the sidewalk because it's too fast.
Oh, yeah. They can get like 30, 40 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that's something else. When I was, I would have loved to have had one of those scooters as well. Something motorized because my parents were never going to give me a car. So anything which would quicken my travel going from home to Del Amo Mall or something like that would have been fantastic. I had the bus or I could walk. That was it. And a lot of times I didn't have money for the bus, but the mall was where all the girls were. So I just wanted to be there. And Del Amo Mall was legendary.
I keep hearing your stories about it. Now, not to sound like a complete violent sociopath here, but bearing in mind, okay, that's the wrong preface, really. Bearing in mind what a nuisance those things can be on the sidewalk, I can't be the only one who's ever fantasized about clotheslining somebody on a scooter or an e-bike on a sidewalk.
Yeah, but I would want to be walking on the sidewalk to be able to do it. I don't want to hurt someone, like hit them with a car.
No, clothesline, like the wrestling move. Stick your arm out.
Yeah, I've thought about that.
Somebody's crowding your space with one of those obnoxious things on the sidewalk. It barely even counts as self-defense.
Yeah, to your point, Stefan, no, I don't think you can ride these on the sidewalk. I'm pretty sure. You're not even supposed to ride just customary bicycles on the sidewalk.
That one I don't get with just regular bicycles, but this and the bird scooters, yeah, that makes sense because they can go so fast.
All I'm saying is, even though they have this new voucher program, if my life was just a little bit different, I would get me an e-bike.
I might apply for that. Let's have those details.
All right, you have to be at least 18 years old. You qualify.
Check.
Make less than 300% of the federal poverty level.
I don't know what that is, but
I guess
I'm sure I'll be competitive.
maybe the poverty level is like 17,000 times 3, something like that, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll figure it out.
Yeah. Two-person household making less than $61,000 per year would qualify. And there's some other things, but that's the general. Applicants have to provide ID, proof of income, take an online safety course, and approval may take up to 60 days. So you have to wait till next year, definitely, to actually get it.
I might go for this.
Only 1,500 vouchers are expected to be awarded during the first round of applications. And applications will then open every 3 to 4 months until funding is exhausted.
In fact, the more of this you read, the more competition I'm going to have. So maybe, ixnay on the EDRE.
So we don't talk anymore about the voucher program?
Oh, God, look at the time.
KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
I just found out today there's a new Lord of the Rings movie coming to theaters. There's really a new Lord of the Rings movie? They're not done with that?
That's the animated one.
I don't give a damn. It's a Lord of the Rings movie, and it's coming to theaters. I thought we were done with Lord of the Rings. I don't know how that slipped by me. Some of my friends were talking about, we're going to talk about Lord of the Rings. I was like, what is there to talk about? I thought they were talking about the TV show on Amazon. That's what I thought. But there's an actual Lord of the Rings movie coming out. And the reason I mention that is because I am now in my documentary stage. I cannot get enough documentaries.
The Girls Gone Wild one doesn't count as a documentary.
Doesn't
Come
matter.
on.
I'm talking about that style of storytelling. I used to love biopics, but now I'm really into documentaries. And with that in mind, did you know that there's going to be a Paul Rubens / Pee Wee Herman documentary coming in 2025, and is also going to explore his life and sexuality? Interesting.
I'm in.
Yeah. Those are types of stories that I want to. I already know the character. I already know the news headlines. I would love to know more about the man and the story that was less often told. Love the documentaries. And that's one thing I do like about the streaming era. Is going to unveil at Sundance the Paul Rubens Pee Wee Herman documentary. And even if it's not on the level of something that will be released in theaters, it will find a home somewhere in streaming, and I'll be able to see it. I would like to see that.
Streaming has absolutely revitalized documentaries. People never went to see those in theaters before.
No, not at all. And that's my point, Mark. You get exactly what I'm saying. Documentaries are not new, but now they found the perfect home for them. And I can watch 4 or 5 in a given sitting. 4 or 5 episodes of a documentary in a given sitting. And not all of them are great, but we're just getting exposed to people's stories and subjects that we wouldn't have gotten normally.
And if we're being honest here, come on. They help you go to sleep.
Actually, I have no problem going to sleep. You're the one who has the problem with going to sleep.
I would say the ones back in the day, those might put you to sleep.
Oh, yeah. The true crime ones always do, because they happen to match these grisly, horrific subjects with the most soothing voices on the planet.
And there's also a rhythm and music and a feel to it that's almost like paint by numbers. You kind of know, all right, you show the heinous crime, and you have the boyfriend who obviously was not looked at as a suspect. Okay, he's the one who did it.
It's always the guy, always the husband, always the boyfriend.
Always. And they work their way backwards to get to that person when you know it's always that person, and they're building up this false drama.
It's a ritual. It's like Columbo or Murder, She Wrote. It doesn't really matter who did it. They're taking you through the ritual. It's comforting.
It's kind of interesting too, because sometimes if you watch, if they have a trailer, you already know who did it, what happened, but how did it get there? And that's what you learn, all the steps along the way.
And the stories that you thought you knew, or at least I thought I knew, there's probably so much more that I did not know, which at least makes me view it just a little bit differently. Now, it doesn't change, obviously, the basic facts about who did it. They're also doing a documentary on Selena. That's something I would like to see, because I lived through that in the music industry sense. And we're getting old enough, including you, Stefan, where a lot of these stories being told now, we have some memory of. Like Girls Gone Wild, we have some memory of it. And now,
I got busted for watching the first episode of that, by the way.
why did you watch that in the company or around someone else who might care?
Well, first of all, it's your fault because I took your recommendation.
fault.
Well, just hear me out. I took your recommendation. I had a little time on my hands, so to speak, so I watched the first episode of it.
Wrong analogy.
Yeah, I
man.
realized that halfway through. And so today, I'm just minding my own business, going about my day, waking up, having some coffee, and I see you watch the Girls Gone Wild show.
You actually caught mess for that?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You're a news person. You're getting informed.
I wish I'd thought of that at the time. That would have been
Or
a perfect comeback.
He could have said, I'm a grown-ass man. I can watch whatever I want.
That too.
You can't spin a Girls Gone Wild show like, yes, it was just for education, and I'm a professional. How dare you question me?
But why would you even try to spin it? I watched it. My wife was in the house doing something. She could tell because throughout the documentary,
Get a trench coat in your lap? What?
they have all the throwback commercials. So you hear them again and again and again.
The steel drums throughout.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You can't miss what we were
honestly,
watching.
hearing that was like borderline nostalgic because I'm like, I just remember that was, 11:30, 12 midnight. And now it's playing throughout the whole documentary.
But I did appreciate learning some things about how they got it on TV and getting attached to Howard Stern. I didn't know that, for example, how most television stations wouldn't touch it at all. No pun intended. But how they were creative in getting people to at least know about the product.
There was a form of brilliance there. There's no question about that. But how many times can that documentary hammer home the fact that the guy's a sleazebag who ruined people's lives?
Oh, yeah. And that was evident from the very beginning. And I was talking to you about this, Mark. It has like maybe 4 episodes. But after the first episode, I learned just about everything I needed to know. It was rinse and repeat after that. He was just going to be more of an a-hole as it went on.
Yeah, not only that, but we should tell people who think they might be curious about that, you're not going to see anything.
Oh, no.
Just so you know.
Everything's covered up.
Yeah, they cut away.
That was my favorite part, is learning that there was I forgot what he called it, but the censor bar guy. Like, there was a dedicated person that made those.
That was a job.
What a job.
Right?
And my thing, if you're going to have a documentary on streaming and you have F-bombs dropping and everything, you got to have some nudity, right? Can you show us something?
Yeah,
just a little something?
I think my response of, they didn't show anything, that wasn't the right response.
But it was an honest one. Because when I was watching it, I was expecting to see the links, no pun intended, that they were going to create this content and compile this content. You got a sense of it, but you didn't get the true essence because there was no nudity.
Yeah, but when you talk about being on a documentary kick now in your later years, I'm thinking, oh yeah, Hotel Terminus or one of these heavy ones.
That's too highbrow.
Nah, you're sitting at home watching Girls Gone Wild.
the untold story.
Yeah.
KFI AM640 Live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
The more you know, the easier it is to avoid the idiots around you.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.